the end, but just maybe left yourselves a little bit too much to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We didn't start well enough. They started very well, to be fair. Their bit of quality up there came off that once, and for the first goal, it was a good goal. Then they scored from a set piece where they got on the end of, and it was going to be a long way back from there. But we had to change a few things, try and find a shape that was a little bit open, but trying to get us the game back. And I thought they, as much as we looked weak in the first half, we looked quite much stronger in the second half, with a little bit more energy, a little bit more passion, a little bit more mental toughness, and we've that extra goal. So I've just seen in the league table kept us in the same place as opposed to dropping down one. Is that right? So it's still worth getting that goal. But they played well in the first half, and we wasn't a match for that, for whatever reason, which I've got to sort out.
I could see you on the touchline, sort of almost asking for more sort of intensity from the team. Is that what disappointed you in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got any lads here that are not trying. They all try, but it's like a little bit misguided sometimes. And then when you need to make a pass and they're just kicking it, then you know that they've lost a little bit of their confidence. And then it gets worse and worse, and before you know it, they get a goal, then they get another goal, and now you've got a mountain to climb. But second half, at least they did give it a bit of a go, but that's how we got to start from games. But listen, we're dealing with footballers, and that happens sometimes, and sometimes it's a game that we win where the opposition have been like that.
You had to make the change. You made the change just before half time, bringing on Dan Holt, and he has to make another one at half time, which seemed quite late because Billy Waters was almost sort of. It seemed quite late to decide that Billy was going to come on for Harry Pell.
Well, what do you mean late? We did it at half time.
He was out here warming up, and then I saw Steve Book come out, grab him, and
I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, the reason why it was late is because obviously we didn't want to take Pelly off, but he couldn't see. He was blurred vision in one eye when he got caught in the face, I think, by Pikey, and he just couldn't see, and he couldn't get his focus. So we gave him as much time as we could, the 15 minutes at half time, and he wanted to come out, but the physio said no, he's struggling. So that's why we then got Billy later.
And as I say, then second half you did show that bit more intensity. Were you, in a small way, were you pleased with how the second half, with what you saw in the second half?
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, I'd rather be 1-0 up and see what I saw in the second half, but I know what you mean. It was better. We was a little bit more of a threat. I thought in the first half we only had like 4 or 5 players that was really carrying the rest of the team. That's what I felt. And those other, 4 or 5 have got to come to the party, and they came to the party after in the second half, and wasn't there in the first half.
And as you say, you got the goal back. Maybe do you feel if the goal could have been 10-15 minutes earlier, you might have been able to then go on and get something out of it?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously the teams, they was hiding footballs from us at the end there, and there was all sorts of shenanigans going on. But the ball boys ceased to become ball boys, and of course that's what happens when there's only 4 or 5 minutes to go, and their secretary and their steward had the one spare ball all for the last 5-10 minutes, which was unbelievable. The fourth official was he had to do a lot of other things, so there was a lot of balls that suddenly weren't there. But as I said, that wasn't why we lost the game. We lost the game because Notts County played very well in the first half.
On to Stevenage, and that's going to be another big test against a team going quite well at the moment.
Yeah, well, we got to go there. We got to play these games, and we lost a little bit of ground. We could have made up ground on some others, of course, but when it doesn't happen, you have to look at the other results, and you just got to keep going. And hopefully, our young team will learn from today, because they did have experience. They did have that experience in the right areas, i.e., up front.
Is that first half all the more disappointing because of the improvement that you've seen in recent games?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they was in the mood to get going. We had to compete with them. It was a big crowd here today, which just shows you the importance of a partisan home crowd. That's very important, and they was screaming for every free kick and every foul, and screaming for everything, which is quite right. That's what home teams do, and that's why good home support, verbal and partisan, can help the team, you know, and hopefully we'll get that as well when we get back to Wadham Road, and because it does mean a lot. But second half we did give it a little bit of a go, so I'm not going home totally devastated, although I'm disappointed with the result, of course.
Great, thank you.
Right, no problem.
Gary, when you played that formation at Luton, it worked brilliantly, didn't it? The 5-4-1, and you know, everyone was saying how well it worked, but you don't want to go behind with that formation, I suppose, do you, early on?
If you go behind too early, but and then you have to decide who you're taking off, who you're bringing on, and how you change it, and whether it will change it, you know. So, and yeah, no, once you go behind with that and not getting much of the ball. I mean, when we was at Luton, we had quite a bit of the ball anyway, and our passes were more assured, and we kept the ball and got our chances, of course. But no, it's. I think if you look at their goal, you'll see how clever and how clinical that goal was, and you've had, you know, two ex Premier League players involved in the move, and that's what happens.
Yeah. How pleased you've been with Liam Davis on the whole, because he came in first game, was that Luton game, wasn't it? And he's been, from what I've seen, he's been one of the best players in every game he's played.
He's done very well, and he did very well today. He was one of the ones that, you know, everybody seemed to be leaving to, you know, relying on him and not doing it himself. So with a couple of others that were doing it, but yeah, he's done well, and he's, you know, we need to build around a few of them, and keep improving our squad when and where we can.
Yeah, just finally, Gary, that first half's the first time since you rebuilt the team that you've had a performance where the players haven't been quite at it.
Yeah.
Do you think if the Plymouth game was a decent performance?
Yeah.
And you've been picking up points, but do you think that's the first time
this
lot have had to show a
yeah,
bit of
honestly
character?
though, I honestly don't feel that they're going out there thinking I'm not going to be at it today. I think the opposition was quicker to the ball. They had a game plan that was to go up our channels quickly, and they got willing runners, and you ended up having to face your own goal quite often, and they got some quality. So, you know, people will say, well, why are they where they are? You know what I mean? But they showed that in the second half when we took the game to them, but we did it too late.
Cheers, Gary.
All right.
Thanks a lot.